It didn't take long for the knockoffs to start rolling in, did it? Here we have the movie version of Squid Game. Kind of. Very quickly, if you do enjoy the cut of my jib, please do consider hitting like and subscribe. That being said, on with the review. The Octogames. So even the name of this movie alone didn't stray too far from Squid Game. No, Squid Game, Octogames. Make it a little subtle that you're ripping them off. Whilst this movie does try and do a few things a little bit differently, my god do they keep a lot of it the same. Like the hoods and masks and even the voices, they get distorted in the same way.
Everyone please prepare yourselves for game 3.
But look, where does this movie deviate from Squid Game? Well, for one, it's fucking quality. On that, super quickly, all of the sets in this movie look like they are just a repainted room. Like they've maybe had a warehouse and they've just painted it up, and that's as much as they've ever done with it. I don't see the budget being too much here.
In terms of money, we have no money.
Basically, we have got here 8 contestants and 8 classic kids games, and the survivor gets... It's not money this time around, because the Octogames have been put on by a streamer.
What's up, guys? My name is Jax Pro, and welcome to Game 1 of the Octogames.
It's under the impression that this streamer is like the top streamer in the world, so he's put together these games, and the winner will essentially get all of his accounts. Millions and millions of followers, and they can do with that what they will. It's just a shame that this streamer, Jax Pro, is the most arrogant and annoying prick that you just hate every second he's on screen.
Today's footage, sir.
Ooh, Simon says thank you. Go.
Like, he is frustratingly bad in this movie. I'd totally get that streamers can have an ego about them and be pricks, but he's just not likeable, and they made him that way. And of course we're not meant to sympathise for the guy or feel for him in any way. He's putting people through deadly games after all. But you want there to be something to your villain that you quite enjoy. You know, you maybe want to see it from their point of view, make them funny, you know, just some aspect that when they're on screen, you have a good time. Jax Pro can fuck off, because he shows up for every game, sometimes during the whole games. He's in it a lot. Now, for the contestants, it looks like it's a casting for the game. However, this is the first game. The first one they play is Simon Says. Not too difficult. You know the rules. Simon says, you do it. If Simon doesn't say to do it, you don't do it. And there's deadly consequences, as you might expect. In this movie's case, this fucking fox is like the hitman of Squid Game. Of course they've got gunmen ready to go in case someone escapes or shit gets out of control, but for the most part, this fox is the one doing all the fucking killing. Look at the fucking costume. Such little budget went into this movie. I don't know what the fuck happened that just made them rush this out, because they either thought it was a great idea. Squid Game is bankable, I know, but that came out a while ago now. I'd love to say that there's like a character that we are rooting for. There's really not. There's 8 of them, and they all get equal screen time, so you're not rooting for any individual character. And there's a few that are very clear knockoffs of Squid Game as well. Do you remember that girl in Squid Game that was like begging to be part of everyone's games, and she would play both sides?
You little bastard, you! Hey, jerkface! You, I said don't come in, didn't I? You harassed us in there, yeah?
You know, and she would always just try and make sure she was on the right side at any given time. Yeah, she's in this movie too.
And I'm a woman, and I might be able to help you in a different way.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
But it's so on the nose here.
Hey, handsome, I have a question.
Because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
Don't get me wrong, there's an absolutely great bait and switch. In this first game, why is he sitting there with a sniper? Like, this is not a big room. Like, that better be a variable zoom scope or a VLK at tops, because the fucking no need for 7 times, is there?
I will discuss how you can essentially use the VLK 3 times optic.
Now, Jax Pro's whole premise is that he wants to just go through these games as like a big finale, and then just fuck off and escape the fame, and probably the law, with his partner. So that's why he's handing just everything over. So the movie jumps between the actual games, and then the behind the scenes where it's Jax Pro and his partner just kind of setting up their new life that they're going to be walking into. But because this movie is a knockoff of Squid Game, it expects you to just understand how Squid Game works. You know, game 1 pretty much just begins at the start of this movie. There's not a lot of exposition or explanation around it. Even the shock of people dying isn't quite there. It's like you as an audience should know what's happening because you're only watching this because you've seen Squid Game. I fully respect some level of expectation in a movie, but also you still need to explain your world. Explain the setup for it. But the games they play, there's like an obstacle course, they play hide and seek, they play musical chairs. You know, it's those kind of games. And it feels like a little bit of a cop-out because they didn't have the budget, they went for this style of game because You don't need much for them. But it's the streamer angle that does just annoy you in this movie. We had Squid Game, and that was a fantastic TV show. This streamer in this world is recreating it. But do you not remember when Mr. Beast recreated Squid Game, and it was almost identical to the show?
I recreated every single set from Squid Game in real life.
If Jax Pro is as famous as they're making out in this movie, he's pretty much on par with Mr. Beast, which would mean he is able to afford the grand scale sets. See, with that thought, it takes the movie down way too many pegs for me. I mean, it was already very low bar, but that as well is just so obvious. But just in case you ever forget that he's a streamer and how he's really famous, he's got his own G Fuel. Let's not forget that.
Honey, where's my G Fuel? Have you tried this?
Oh, yeah, I hate it.
But like this flavor.
But who the fuck serves G Fuel in a glass? I'm a sneak boy myself, but even that comes in one of these shakers. I'm not sponsored or anything. Yet. You don't put that in a glass and stir it up. That's just weird. It feels wrong. So I knew this movie was going to be bad going into it, but I just had to watch it to really see how bad it is. Now, with all that being said, what would I be saying about the Octogames? If you have the time to watch this movie, do anything else with your time. However, if you're looking for one of those movies to get drunk to that's just ridiculously bad, this one is probably one of the top picks. So I'm recommending it only on the caveat that you're getting drunk to it and you want to get really drunk. Drink responsibly though. You've got no real main character that you're following because they all get the screen time. Where Squid Game though had the benefit of being a show, it had a lot of time to flesh out the characters. You understood their personal stakes as well as the stakes in the game. This movie doesn't give that. You don't get backstory to the characters involved, so when the contestant dies, you only had a little bit of time with them, so you don't really care anyway. Their own internal relationships don't really matter, you don't feel for them. There's just clear bad guy contestants and then the good people that want to help everybody. The Fox can fuck off, like it's a shit costume. And Jax Pro,
how sick is that, bro?
He is an absolute cunt. Like this is something that it may just be me that I've never understood, but he's going to give over his accounts to the winner. But the people that have subscribed and followed him for Jax Pro. Whoever wins, if they start streaming, no one's going to watch. Like, I know people buy and sell accounts, I just never understood that concept. It feels like you need to start your own and get your own audience. And on that note, have you seen the Octogames? Or are you maybe just planning to watch it for a night on the sauce and have a fun time doing so? Let me know down below. And if you haven't yet, please do consider hitting subscribe. This is where I'm just going to review those movies that do go under the radar, some for obvious reasons, but more often than not recommend movies to you that I hope you will enjoy. And as always, thank you so much for watching.